Hello everyone and welcome to episode 193 of Classic Elite. My name is Scott. Got Dustin with me. What's going on, man?
I'm no longer the reason that we're late.
You are no longer the reason we are late. Oh man. Yes. This is take 2 of the podcast. Dustin was late watching a cool movie and I didn't have my microphone on, so... Or not through OBS. Whatever. But our good buddy Zarek is in chat. Save the day. We only have to redo this intro. But we were initially a little behind schedule because you were sucked into a movie.
Yeah, I got an invitation to watch a good movie.
Oh man, we haven't started with a good Dustin pun in a while.
Called The Invitation. Yeah, it's good. I'm not sure if it's a horror movie yet or not. It feels like one, but it hasn't stepped over the line yet. It's like straddling. It's like tightrope walking the line right now.
I like that. I hear the Cabin in the Woods was a real different take on that kind of a horror movie type thing, and I never saw that. I heard that was good.
That's good. It's a good one. I own that on Blu-ray.
I'll need to check that out.
That was featured last year on our Halloween-a-thon.
Oh, wait, you're a streamer on? Did we do it on the podcast? This isn't ringing a bell now.
Oh, when I held my horror movie marathon last year.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. For the yeah, okay. Your friends and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Now it's ringing a bell. I thought it was like Classic Elite related. I'm like, what? This isn't.
You're thinking of
31 Days of
30
Halloween.
Games of Halloween. Yeah.
So, yes, if you are a Halloween nut, go check out some videos Dustin made a few years. What was it? Almost. Is it 2 or 3 years ago?
Man, it might be 3 years ago at this point.
It's crazy. But Dustin did an amazing series where he did 31 games, kind of 31 quick looks of games that were Halloween related in some capacity, right?
Yeah.
So,
Man, I gotta go watch those to see what games I even did.
Did you some ideas of what to go back to?
Yeah. If I did one now, I almost certainly would have at least 20 of those games. Because I just forgot that I did them already.
Right. So, yeah. Sounds like you've been busy back at work.
Yep.
Always
Kids are back in schools. So that means all the teachers are just now turning in tickets for things that have been broken for 7 years.
Well, now they have a motivated young whippersnapper out there, and they know it'll get done. Speaking of that, did the network guys ever get that network stuff, that 4-hour project done?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay, most of it. That's great. So
everyone, I've still been running into stuff at that school where just the network just is like, no, we're not going to do that. You want the internet? No, you go right to hell.
Have you have to set up a lot of wireless access points? Is that what they have to do, or is it all hardwired?
They basically all of it. They took out all of the old switches and put in new switches.
Okay.
And then they took out all of the old access points in the rooms and redid those.
Okay.
So, yeah, they basically tore it all down and put it back. The only thing they didn't change out, I think, is the wires that were already run.
Cool. I'm surprised they estimated that at 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot. So, yeah, as I was saying before, only you got to hear it, though. I got to see Tony last weekend at the Comic-Con in Columbus, Ohio. And, dude, it's so weird. Comic-Cons, this is the first thing branded Comic-Con I've ever been to. I've been to anime and gaming conventions, but I've never been to something that was labeled Comic-Con. And it felt like I paid money to go shopping, and that was it. And it was expensive to go to, and you go in and it's just vendors selling stuff.
Did you get any cool stuff?
I did.
Were they here's a bag of crap?
No, there were no goodie bags. There was no door prizes. I had to spend additional money to get cool stuff.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah. There was a tabletop gaming section, and there was this place selling root beer in these like aluminum kind of tin branded cups.
Hmm.
It was strange. It was basically like syrupy kind of. I don't know. It was like real root beer or something. I don't know. Nonetheless, so we sat down, we're drinking some root beer, and playing this really weird card game where you kind of get up and slap hands, and I don't know, it was strange. But this is right across from, like, there's our table, and then there's a walkway, and then just to the left of us is Robert Patrick from Terminator 2, and his daughter
Sweet.
just chilling in a booth. And right next to him is Kevin Sorbo and his son just chilling there waiting for people to come up. And what stinks is like it was so heavily commercialized, you could tell that there was nothing, I don't know, it was very regimented. There was nothing organic about it. It was like $20 for a selfie. It felt like even to go shake his hand when there was nobody in line to like go meet him felt like some
Hmm.
sort of breach of contract. It just was a weird. So we got to walk by, and it was really funny because my buddy's girlfriend was like talking about Robert Patrick, like, oh my God, he just looks so mean.
Hmm.
And he was like talking to these kids, and he just looked like the most intense listener. He just has that like face. And then the highlight though was Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger. We got to see her,
All right.
so that was kind of cool. But again, there was that weird. Like, I'd feel like I was stealing somehow by, like, going up and saying hello. That's a very strange, I don't know, strange ordeal. Because I've been to, like, baseball games as a kid and would get, like, autographs for free. Like, it was free to say hi to the pros there. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just strange.
Kind of a
Yeah,
weird.
$20 to take a selfie.
Whatever, man. That's what Zoom's for, right? You just he's like a little dot in the background. What you gonna do about
Yeah.
that, Robert Patrick?
But it did, I don't blame the actors at all. It just felt like that's what Comic-Con culture is or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've had more fun.
Monetized socialization.
Yes. Yeah. And like the cosplay was okay. I don't know. It just wasn't.
I'm really glad you didn't bring your camera.
Me too. I would have
That
been
would have
really,
been a real bummer.
yes. That's what
You
we
would have taken
can.
pictures of your receipts.
Pretty much. Yes. I did get some really cool art, or some prints of art. So that was fun. I like to get different prints. I'll rotate what's going on and whatnot. So, like in my house, like the decorations I have hanging up, I'll change those. So yeah, it's fun. I like to see everybody, but it was very commercialized, and I don't know, didn't have the spirit. Like there were no awkward hugs or you know what I mean, like the little things about cons that just are great.
Yeah.
There was none of that there. So,
Like it's not a con if Amy Jo Johnson isn't afraid for her life.
yeah, that seems fair.
Like she should be at least slightly afraid of being stabbed.
I'm sure she was a little. I don't know. She probably still could kick some ass. She was so little.
Oh.
Kevin Sorbo is legitimately huge.
Yeah.
He's yeah. I forget what I forget. He was like Tarzan or Conan or something like that.
Hercules.
Hercules, that's what it was. Oh damn! Zarek in chat says that he was looking at some of our old videos, and my no death run of Contra was done a year ago. Damn! Someone just commented on that video. He's got a faster no death run on his channel.
What?
Hey, doesn't diminish what I did. I'm still like thrilled. Oh, but speaking of that, so we went to a barcade after the Comic-Con, right?
Mhm.
And I met this guy named Nathan Phillips at this arcade, and he no death run Contra 1 at the bar.
Sweet.
So
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool to talk to him. He had the Twin Galaxy like playing cards. Have you ever seen those that Walter Day has made of like gamers that are like world
No.
record holders? He had like it was cool. It was fun to meet him. It like made me feel like, well, I beat Contra without dying, but he said, I mean, I didn't verify it, but I don't see any reason why he would lie about it. He can beat, or he has beat Contra 1 through 3 on a no death run, or Ninja Gaiden on a no death run 1 through 3.
Man,
And he said
that's awesome.
He said it's like gut wrenching when he's in the middle of that run and dies at the end of 3.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Man, that's a bummer.
Yeah. So, we got a new person joining us in chat. Hey,
Mitchy
Mitchy.
Slick.
Thanks for joining, man, or her. So yeah, it was really it was fun. I guess I'll talk about that stuff now as well. We played a lot of old classic arcade games.
Cool.
Donkey Kong Jr. definitely was on the hardest dip switch settings. Normally, my buddy and I will compete over like high score stuff, like in Galaga or Pac-Man. But it slowly turned into who can just beat this level first. And I've gotten through that first level without a problem before. And he got to it before I did, and in way less tries than it took me. And then we played a great game. Have you ever played Championship Bowling?
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent, super fun. It played as well as like Silver Strike. My buddy's girlfriend was really good at that. She like crushed us on the first game. I won one of them, I think. I think she won the whole set. And then we played this other game called Gorf, which I've only heard of Gorf from a YouTuber named Arcade Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
He got one at like a great deal on one. And he had never heard of the game, but it was a great deal on a cool cabinet, so we got it. And it's like Galaga, but it's like free roaming. Like you can go up and down and left and right. And it's got a Tron like joystick or Star Wars joystick.
Okay.
So you're like going up and down and like shooting with the trigger instead of like a button.
Okay.
And if you press once, your laser beam will go all the way across the screen. But if you rapid fire, you'll keep like a close beam in front of you.
Oh, okay.
And as the level starts, there's like a shield around you that you can kind of use that you shoot through to get people, but they're like shooting projectiles and eating away at your shield. And I don't know, like it was really good, deep gameplay. Like I was really impressed. Like Gorf is fucking rad, and I had never heard of it other than like some weird YouTube video.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't. You guys, have you ever been to any of the barcades in Nashville? I think I've asked you, but I don't remember.
I went to there's a Dave and Buster's in the mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was like a dungy kind of. No, they had like a lot of craft beer, and they had like 2 sections, so like some big game rooms and then some classics. But it was a lot of original cabinets. I was impressed at that. It wasn't a lot of like emulator stuff or like hacked together machines.
Cool.
Like the Donkey Kong had the proper 4-way joystick kind of stuff. Now Gorf was really weird. I think that was in an old Star Wars cabinet because there was like a stand-up vector one maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Like it just seemed weird. It seemed like it was a Star Wars, not from I remember from Gorf. But anyways, yeah, good stuff. And I think Gorf might actually be a sequel to Galaga. Like, I don't think it was, like, a copyright thing. They had, like, Missile Command and stuff. My buddy had never played that, so it was cool to... That game's hard, but that's fun. Centipede. Yeah, it was good. So, yeah, that was the weekend. That's what I did. So, yeah. I guess let's get into any announcements this week. Is there anything you wanted to chat about?
I don't think so.
Show related me either. Keep an eye out for the Retro Leagues tournament. I don't think it's started yet. The voting is now closed from what we had talked about last week, so the forum thread is locked. And speaking of retro stuff, it's kind of a stretch of a segue, but archive.org, Dustin, has the first 13 years of Nintendo Power available for you to flip through.
That's awesome.
Our good buddy Dumez sent an email like right before we started recording, and he said that they are all free to download in CBR format or PDF, or of course read online. His mind is blown. I can tell he's typing this like as he's finding it out. It's got the ads and all, which it's funny how nostalgic we are for the ads, but that's the stuff we really lusted over, you know, like.
Yeah.
It's unofficial, so it includes everything with old ads. He says we can check out the top 5 Virtual Boy games, which is hilarious because there's only 14.
Oh, awesome.
I want to say if you count Japan, there might be like 23 or 24. Maybe there's 30 some. It's a very small library. I remember
Yeah.
James Rolfe like holding the entire library in his hand in his Virtual Boy video. Oh, did you happen to see his review of the Ghostbusters animated series? He just put it
No.
up.
Mhm.
Man, it made me want to like go spend all my money on some collector's edition of that cartoon. And the ones like towards the end of the episode, he listed like some of his favorites out of the entire series,
Mhm.
and I had really strong memories of a lot of the ones he showed. So I'm like, oh my god, I really want to see this. He had great things to say. So, yeah, it was great. So archive.org, I'll have that linked. Do you ever go through any online magazines like what Hughes Johnson puts up on HughesJohnson.com or anything? You ever go through catalog scans?
Not really. I kind of forget they're there.
I only catch them when other people like screen cap it and throw it on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
I hope Nintendo lets this alone.
We might want to jump on this while we can.
Right, like I want there to be like a torrent link. I haven't gone through it, but it'd be awesome to just have them all downloaded. Because Nintendo is not, they're not too scared of the PR backlash of going after people,
I'm surprised these are still up.
right? So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I thought it was cool. That's definitely the neatest thing of the week. With Hearthstone, well, Blizzard in general, they got hit with the DDoS attacks. Hearthstone and Overwatch were down 2 days ago. We're recording on the 4th of August. And something I saw in the news, man, was there was another big sweep of cheating bans in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
And remember a month or two ago, I was like, yeah, Blizzard's bringing the hammer down and banned a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They did it again, and this article I'm going to link from Kotaku screen capped a bunch of people in the cheating forums, like bitching, and it's just marvelous. It's so funny to read. People thinking that they were in the clear because they didn't get caught in the first ban wave, so they could start cheating then. Like, that shit is automated detection. What makes you think that they're going to stop looking for it? I didn't see anybody in the article I was reading that some people were trying to threaten to do like a class action lawsuit for taking their game away after they paid for it, even though it's very clear they violated the terms of service to even participate in the game. If it was government supplied and they were cheating, I guess that would be fine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was. But I wonder, some of the threats in the comments were like organizing a DDoS attack. And then within that next week, they get hit with a real bad one. So I'm wondering if it's just a weird coincidence or if these people followed through and like got pissed and tried to ruin everybody's fun.
It's the ultimate way to cheat.
You just knock it down for everybody.
Yeah. Like, I beat you all.
Kick
There goes the server.
Yep, kick it over, kick their Jenga tower over and go home. Flip their table while they're playing Pokemon. I don't know. That sucks. And if you're that much of a baby getting caught cheating, I mean, why ruin other people's fun? I don't know. I can't understand. It's a game for fun. I can't wrap my mind around it. So, hey, Jake Daly from the Daily Jake Show is here.
Jake!
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes, it has been a long time, man. So, good to see you. I hope things are well. The next thing in the news that was a pretty big deal. A dude got a leaked copy of No Man's Sky. And I might get this wrong, but I believe he like paid some retailer that had an early copy, or it was on eBay or something like that. He ended up paying $1,300 for a leaked copy of No Man's Sky.
All right.
And Like I feel like didn't Vita do something where like you could pay more to get it a week early? It was like 50 more bucks for a Vita, but you got it like early. There was like something where you could get a Vita
Yeah,
early on launch.
something like that.
But
Yeah,
I remember thinking like that was dumb. What is the point of that?
yeah,
And EA's done some stuff. I think if you're a subscriber to their thing, you get games early, or I don't know. $1,300 in a game, isn't it? Isn't there a lot of multiplayer aspects potentially to it? Because aren't
yeah.
you like discovering other people's stuff
Yeah.
and he put up videos and it sounds like
Oh, sorry, I just got a call
you got to
from
take
my
it.
wife. Hold on. Let's pretend like that didn't happen at first.
Okay. You know there is evidence that you screened her call, so
Yeah. Well, it was good while it lasted.
this breaks the love your spouse challenge, right? So yeah, but I mean $1,300 for a leaked copy of a game, and while Dustin is tinkering around, I guess I'll explain a little bit about what I know so far. It sounds like the guy got to the center of the galaxy, which is the goal of the game, and I don't know what's there, but I guess that was what you're supposed to do in about 30 hours, and this has some people freaking out. I think because in their minds they had the last game they would ever need to buy, which is insane to think of. But 30 hours, like that sounds great with no walkthroughs. Like that sounds long enough. I heard complaints about it being buggy, and I would think that that's to be expected. It's a very big procedurally generated game. Also, I'm sure that like all major games now, there's a critical day one patch.
Yeah.
So they're probably aware of some of the stuff he's complaining about that won't be there for other players, maybe. I felt bad for, I think his name's Sean, the owner of, are they Hello Games? Is that who? I think it's who does that. Hello Games?
I think so. That sounds right.
Anyways, you could tell he was like really sad that somebody was getting that footage out there. I think he wanted to have that kind of, and rightfully so, with the hype they've built up, that kind of like Fez moment, or the Witness was another one where like the community's trying to talk about what they've done. A Dark Souls launch is another good example where nobody knows anything, and it's kind of fun to figure out what's going on, and it's just a bummer. So
I did some number crunching, and he paid about $43 an hour.
I have spent money at a faster clip than that before, so maybe it's not so crazy. You know,
I feel like
in Vegas,
I feel like you could do a lot of money with $1,300.
See, now 1,300 at one, yeah. Like in an hour, I've lost $50 on something,
That's still.
or I've just misplaced it. I've done dumb stuff, but I haven't let it add up to one single $1,300 dumb thing. $1,300 for a lead. I don't. And again, like it almost. I'm picturing like somebody going to some sort of wild West resort. Or no, maybe it's like Vegas Vacation. Or not Vegas Vacation, just National Lampoon's Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Where like part of an amusement park is that other people are there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Get to people watch. Like it's not the same experience if you're the only one riding on the roller coaster with giant candy. Not worth $1,300 or a trip to jail.
All right.
So, yeah, Jake says that he hasn't seen us since, he stopped by for his birthday, which was back in March. He's asking what our thoughts are on the recent NX rumors. I don't remember if we covered that last episode or not. So
I think we did. I think we talked about it.
Back into it a bit. I'm hopeful. I didn't. Yeah, it's like a less powerful chip. I remember. Yeah. Okay, I remember talking about that. I don't know. It's Nintendo. I hope Nintendo games play well on Nintendo hardware.
And I remember being indifferent and being like, yeah, that sounds like something Nintendo would do.
Yeah, right?
And that was it.
I kind of hope it does well. I would hate. I don't know. I feel like an old man, but I like the idea of Nintendo staying on a Nintendo stuff. I don't want to play Nintendo on an Xbox or Mario on an Xbox.
True. Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's rational. But it's the way I feel. You know, it just.
Well, one of the Nintendo is like whatever record company made Nine Inch Nails put out albums on like once every 10 years.
Okay.
If you like once Trent Reznor broke that leash and you have yearly Mario sequels being put out by Infinity Ward and Visceral Games, then the magic's gone.
Yeah, like I think that's a fair analogy. I remember when Trent Reznor released Ghosts. It was just like B-sides of just noises. I was like, what the hell is this? I paid for this? And it sucked because Year Zero was such an amazing album, and the marketing behind that was so much fun. It was kind of like an internet like scavenger hunt that would ultimately end if you figured out where a free show was happening, playing the album.
Whoa.
It was like
That's
really
awesome.
neat and like really dark stuff. Like you felt hackery and darknet. I don't know. It was neat. One of my friends was really into that, and I got to go along for the ride. Now we were in Ohio, so like we didn't get a free show here, but eventually like you could be in like LA and like 2 a.m. it would start at this weird warehouse, and
It didn't happen in Finley?
no.
No.
Shocker, right?
That's Trent Reznor's birthplace, right?
Actually, not that far away. He is from Ohio. I think he's from Youngstown.
There you have
Which
it.
if you like folded the state in half on a map, Finley would like smack into Youngstown. My geography's pretty bad. We're in the top left. He was in the top right.
He's a traitor, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, Maynard from Tool was from here. Marilyn Manson's from here. Like that whole, and also like Nick Saban from Alabama and Urban Meyer at Ohio State. Like a lot of freaking psychopath kind of people. Like it's wild.
All right.
It's funny. Like out of all those people, like Trent Reznor and Maynard from Tool are like the most like level-headed people. Like the football coaches and like Marilyn Manson are a whole nother level of like insane. So, so Overwatch, yeah. DDoS attacks sucked. No Man's Sky paying that much is a bummer. I wouldn't have done that. And I hope people have stayed away from kind of spoilers. And I hope websites have been doing a good job of not spoiling stuff for people that are trying to stay away. And then, speaking of Vita, coming back to that, there was finally an exploit for the Vita that will allow for like a homebrew channel or homebrew software to work. And
That'll be the only reason Sony touches that ever again.
right, just to patch that out.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? People are using their Vitas? Make that stop.
Yeah, we're gonna turn those servers off soon. Now the hacker or whatever that put it together, he didn't put in provisions to allow for piracy, but he's stated, I'm not going to actively stop it either. So he hasn't done it, but inevitably someone is, right? So pretty soon we'll be able to play Super Mario World on Vita. The Giant Bomb guys were talking about that. Like, you use the exploit, you load up Super Mario World, you play halfway through the first level, see that it works, and you're like, okay, and then you never touch it again. Like, that's usually how emulation works, right? When I buy a game, I replay it, and if I pirate it, I just am proud that I got it to run and turn it off.
Yeah.
But the way the exploit works is you go to just a website on through the Vita, and it just runs a script or something and unlocks it.
That's awesome.
And it's just weird because it's been a hard system to get to work in that capacity, whereas it felt like the PSP launched with like emulators.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, this took a while, and yeah, some website exploit works, which is crazy. So, yeah, Zarek in chat saying it's time to buy a Vita. Yeah, I did. I did fire up the Vita a little bit. There was a game with amazing music, but I was confused on the gameplay style. It was like a rhythm game from the free games this month.
Hmm.
I like the Vita. I just don't play it enough.
I need to buy the other games. I don't think I ever bought the PS3 and Vita games.
The Tricky Towers game. Have you seen that at all?
Mm.
It's one of the free games. They did a quick look on Giant Bomb of it, and it's Tetris but with physics.
Huh.
So instead of moving a block, maybe a full square over to like the next slot, you can move in half slots, and there's sometimes different sizes and stuff. And since it's physics based, it's kind of like it can fall over. So you have to balance stuff out, and it looked incredibly fun, especially with multiplayer, like local. So make sure you get that just in case, like people get sick of Fibbage. It's 4-player.
It sounds like something that that happened after like Massive Attack broke up.
Massive Attack was more than one dude?
I thought so.
Huh. Weird. That was a house theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbeat or Heartbreak or whatever. It's a good song. I like some Massive Attack.
Don't get murdered.
Yeah, don't meet at a McDonald's. Zarek's already Craigslist shopping. Found a Vita for $75. It's cool. So yeah,
I hope you get it before they patch it.
Right. But if this is web based, I'm sure these guys will be able to very easily have something else. There's probably something inherent in the way that the operating system works that's going to allow them to fight back.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Zarek carries.
He's like John Wick of video games.
Oh, man, I need that. That's missing from my Blu-ray collection. I'm buying John Wick.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Like John Wick was a fun fucking movie. Yeah, and then the last thing. So I've been making the joke about Petroklepic's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I feel like anytime we bring attention to him, even though our audience is very small, I feel superstitious. We interview him not that long after he leaves Giant Bomb for Kotaku. We create Petroklepic's Corner based on his Kotaku articles. He leaves Kotaku.
For Vice.
For Vice. But Austin Walker's there. Now, I think it makes sense because I think Gawker owns Kotaku. And Gawker's fucked. So Kotaku will probably get sold to somebody.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So a more secure job was probably there. But I have my impressions of Vice are very, very poor.
Yeah.
It sounds like you agree.
I guess Mother Jones wasn't hiring.
Mother Jones.
Or Salon.
Oh, so, yeah, okay, yeah. Dude, I've noticed Polygon's been really iffy. Like, you can just feel a slant in the reporting. It's annoying.
Yeah.
There's always it feels like some sort of a ulterior motive to why they're writing a particular article. Like it's not about what they're writing about. There's always subtext. I don't know. It's strange. And Vice feels like it locks up no matter what device you go to. Like you're so bombarded with ads that you can't even read the freaking article. But I've just always associated them with like BuzzFeed, like really clickbaity stuff and
yeah.
So yeah, and Zarek's saying they might not patch it. It's most likely one of those things where as long as you have a Vita that hasn't updated past a certain point, which
that makes sense.
Yeah. So that
until they find it on the internet and brick it.
Nah, Nintendo. They did that
It
to
sends out.
Wii's, didn't they?
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they started bricking Wii's that were hacked.
Yeah, that sounds right. What you gonna do? We're Nintendo.
We shouldn't be surprised at that.
Yeah. Miyamoto hit enter on the keyboard to make it happen.
So yeah, that's it for news. But I will, I really do like Patrick Lepic's reporting. I like the kind of stories he finds. So I will try to keep checking out his stuff. I will give Vice Gaming a chance. What I've seen has been whatever. We'll see, right?
We'll see.
Best of luck to him. And then let's get to. Well, go ahead.
I don't even know why he's like. Why does he go to a news site?
Oh, instead of like making his own,
Wasn't he just Patrick Klepek on YouTube?
kind of like Jim Sterling does.
Uh,
I don't know. He's probably getting to that point where he might be able to. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty scary, though, dude. Like, he's working for major publishers or publications. I mean, they actually have like real benefits and stuff. There's 401k matching. There's
that's a good point. Insurance, all kinds of stuff.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I could ever get successful enough at an online based thing. I'll have too much self-doubt to actually take that full step away. Like, the only way I would is if the money was inconsequential, like it didn't matter,
Yeah, if you PewDiePied it, basically.
Yeah, where it's like there was no
You're just making
avoiding the
millions
money.
every year.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, Dustin, you've done some very exciting things with your gaming time this last week. It looks like.
Yesterday, I saw that Steam had a game for sale that I'd had in my I want that list.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dex. It's like a platformer. It's like the cyberpunk platformer. I saw it on Giant Bomb. They did a quick look of it,
Okay.
and I thought it looked cool. It was $5, so I bought it and I installed it.
Bam. Next week will be. You didn't get a chance to play Odalus.
Mm-mm.
Install that
But
too.
I put Steam in my startup programs.
Bam. It doesn't affect my boot time that much. The thing that does is Carbonite, my backup solution. That affects it the most. That and Plex. But I like to be able to access my PC from anywhere in the house. It's like my main hub. So I let Steam and Plex start regardless of how slow it makes the startup, because once it boots, I can watch anything I want in my room, or if I'm away, if there's a song I downloaded, I can get to it. So.
So Solly has this game he likes to play at his daycare, and it's this Sesame Street game. And Kim bought a copy and sent it to the house. This game came out in like 1997, and it's for the PC. So I'm like trying to find a way to get this stupid game to run, and it is a nightmare.
Isn't there just a way to run like a virtual machine of XP? Oh no, XP was like 2000. So you'll need like an emulator of like Windows 95 or something.
So like I had an old laptop where I installed Windows XP on this laptop,
Okay.
and I still couldn't get it to run. Even running in like Windows 95 compatibility. I don't know. It could just be that architecture has changed so much since then.
That was always my impression of the PC gaming scene when it was the 90s. There were different colors that would happen depending on the guts of your PC.
Yeah.
Different sounds depending on what's in there. There was like no standardization. Well, there was, but it was overwhelming. It's even like, yeah, all this shit's basically the same now. Like, your motherboard contains enough I/O for the average person,
Yeah.
where you had to buy your own I/O back then. Oh, speaking of I/O, you know how I said that my motherboard was going bad and my port died?
Mm-hmm.
it was Windows 10.
No, you got Wintend.
This is the first time I felt burnt by the operating system, like Windows 10 stuff. So the anniversary edition came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I installed it, my Ethernet card I bought no longer worked. I'm like, now I didn't go and try to reinstall the driver CD or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, man, that really sucks. So I go into like open network software or whatever and open network devices, and then you can see like what Wi-Fi's are available and your different ports, and all of a sudden, like the one that used to have a red X on it that was my old motherboard port had no X on it, but the one I was plugged into that I just installed had an X on it. Switched ports, sure enough, my internet's right back. I do think that it was I have to refresh the drivers or something on the card, but still, it was flat out a Microsoft update that turned off my internet Ethernet port, and a new update turned it back on. I don't even know how I'm going to troubleshoot Windows computers moving forward.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to be like, start over.
Yeah, just hit the like one of two things. It'll just be like, take all my data, I don't care anymore, and they're just like, okay, you can use your computer now. Or we're just gonna become Linux nerds.
That and it's funny you say that. I read a headline today about Mint 18 being a really good, it just works version of Linux.
Like, 20 years later.
I'm like, that's tempting. It took a while, but still, that's pretty. I don't think you're far off by saying I might just go into being a Linux nerd. Like, I'm loving my Chromebook. That'll run Linux.
I can't wait for when we're trying to get all of this to run on Linux.
Oh my god, just sick to my stomach thinking about all the different. It sucks. Like, I'll have to subscribe to like anything for getting a one price video editor. Cause did I tell you on the cast or off the cast that Vegas doesn't work for me anymore?
That might have been off.
I can't. Well, the short of it is Vegas 10, because of the way NVIDIA does encoding. Vegas doesn't communicate well with it. So Vegas will only render based on my Intel chip. Like just the native graphics cards in my i7, which is only a 3770, which means I can no longer render at 60p, 60 frames a second progressive. And if I do 720p at 60, the file will fill up my hard drive. Now, my AMD card, it works, it does the encoding the right way, but I guess reading some nerdy forum threads, NVIDIA and AMD took different paths when it comes to rendering stuff. So I finally found some software that I didn't have to frickin' subscribe to.
That's awesome.
Does let me render it. And it feels like Vegas. It does the basic stuff I want. But man, it's hard to find stuff that's not like subscription based. And I feel like Microsoft's going to be like Tim Sweeney, like we talked about last episode. They're going to patch everything out of everything. Right. If you want Windows. And they flip all the defaults back off. Like, I'm constantly getting pinged. Like, all the default players I have for WAV files or JPEGs or anything turn back, and I get little notifications. So I got to move them all back. And, like, some of the privacy stuff I noticed was switched back. Like, the way that I would... there was background apps that I know I definitely wouldn't have had on. But you can look at background applications. Frickin' Candy Crush was running in the background now. So if you have Windows 10 Anniversary, look at background apps as well. It's not in the same menu as your default apps. It's in like settings and maybe update security. I don't know. I was pissed, dude.
Yeah. That sucks so bad.
Like, that's got to be... Yeah, it's in your security settings. I'll give you something called 3D Builder was turned on in the background. My calculator, calendar, Candy Crush, Solitaire, which I think Solitaire is freemium now, and a couple of other like Skype Preview, but it was like the Windows Metro app version, not the native desktop version. Skype's in there. Why do you need to run this demo app in the back? I was very disappointed. So,
Oh man.
I don't know. Anniversary update sucks. So yeah, I don't know. So you installed a game. Did you at least get to see? Oh no, you couldn't get the one game running, which sucked. Hey, do you remember Sesame Street like 1, 2, 3 on the NES? There was like a
I'm aware of it.
Ferris wheel section, and there was one stage in there where it was like a puzzle game, and you would get random pipe pieces and have to get this pipe to kind of go through to a bathtub. And the song in that bathtub puzzle was awesome. So, yeah.
I have to YouTube that.
I always remember like that specific song thinking, and I don't even know how we ended up with that game because my brother and I were both too old for that. My grandma must have got it for us, you know. Oh, that's a Nintendo tape. They'll like that.
They're all the same anyway.
So I got a new Xbox One controller. It's awesome.
Is that the one that has like the buttons all over it?
No, it's not the Elite, but it has like Bluetooth in it, and it has a headphone port now.
Looks fancy.
Yeah, there's a little texture to the back. I thought it was rubberized, but it's not. It's rough plastic.
Okay.
It's a great feeling controller. I really like it. And I just threw a Bluetooth dongle on my PC, and I don't notice any input lag.
Cool.
Played Super Meat Boy. So installing it on a Windows 10 PC is great. It does not work with the Steam Link. Surprise. Tim Sweeney seems to be spot on with that. There's something built into the Steam Link where you can like hit virtual here. You connect a controller to the Steam Link, and it's supposed to work, and it just freezes. So I don't know. It looks like I'm playing Ori's Definitive Edition at my desk and not in my bedroom on the Steam Link.
Oh,
it's a bummer, but it is a wonderful feeling controller. I don't have any buyer's remorse, and I do have optimism that it'll work with some updates to the Steam Link. Or someone will figure out something deep in a forum thread that I can, kill an afternoon trying to get to work. But it's cool. It looks great. It's white. It's pretty sexy looking. I don't know. I might like it more than the PS4 controller. I don't know.
Okay.
I think an argument could be made for both. I definitely like it more than the 360 controller.
I never liked the bumpers on the 360 controller.
Yeah, these they're easier to get, the bumpers, with this one a lot.
Okay.
You can almost like just roll your finger onto it versus having to there's a lot of travel with your fingers the way that the 360 set up. You can almost just roll onto it with this one.
And just the way that the bumpers actuate felt like garbage.
Yeah, and this one feels like more premium, and the sticks feel smoother. The D-pad's great. I don't know. I like it. I started a new playthrough of Ori and the Blind Forest because the Definitive Edition upgrade was only $5. So I'll get to some extra content. So I'm starting to play through that. And I talked about my motherboard issues not being a hardware problem, but a Windows problem, and talked about my old games. So that means it is time to go to fan mail and YouTube comments. So let's go to email first. You want to read Kevin's email?
Yeah. Let's see here. Get out of the way, window. Kevin, fan mail. Kevin says, I really enjoyed the last episode. I am in love with Stranger Things. Everyone I know told me to check it out as I have a love-hate relationship with the 80s. I was born in 87, but identify more but I did identify as more of an 80s person than a 90s person. My brother is 12 years older than me, so maybe that's why. I grew up playing with his toys and watching his movies. I'm so surprised you guys never mentioned that Stranger Things is pretty much Silent Hill. Even the abbreviation ST greater than S means silent T is a reference to PT. Okay, that last part was a lie. But look up that the show was partially inspired by Silent Hill. This part is true. People who know me know that I love alternate dimension and time travel, hence why I love Rick and Morty. But yeah, I plan to watch it a second time with my wife and want to buy the Blu-ray just because I want to support it as well.
Sweet.
I hope season 2 has new characters, but they mention this cast and have some. Oh, okay. I hope season 2 has new characters, but they mention this cast and have some cameos. Like Will is the new L or something since he's been to the Upside Down and survived. Oh, spoilers. I said spoilers after I said it already. Again.
And that's the worst. Like, if you wouldn't have brought attention to it, it might not, you know what I mean? I did the same thing last week with Ex Machina, so whatever.
Oh, yeah.
At least we try not to.
At least we're apologetic about it. Like, yeah, sorry.
I do feel bad.
Sorry we ruined this whole thing for you.
Yeah, and you don't really ruin all. There is an argument to be made that if you do know what's going to happen, you can actually get more enjoyment because you pick up on more things. As you try to see how it comes to what you already know is going to happen.
Yeah.
I disagree with that argument, but I do. A lot of people do get a lot more out of it that way. So hopefully it won't ruin it for anybody.
I saw your lady in Jason Bourne.
Oh,
I saw that movie.
Oh, how was the movie?
It was all right.
How was she?
She was good.
Sweet. Yeah.
They all die.
Spoilers. She's all in the. She's in the news a lot right now because she's in Jason Bourne. That's doing well, and then the Tomb Raider stuff, and she's dating Michael Fassbender, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Is he Magneto in the X-Men?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's who she's dating.
Okay, he goes on to say, also talking about internet packages, I'm with Rogers in Canada. Think American AT&T, just as evil, except they say A. they're really apologetic about their crappy customer service. And I got this crazy ass package of 1 gigabit of speed, unlimited internet, and cable again for $112 a month for 2 years. So I've had no caps, and I feel great. I still don't watch cable. It was a topper. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't blame you. Cable's garbage.
I'm gonna have to pay that, and that's Canadian money, so that's a great deal. Gigabit speed?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I'm jealous.
I'm not. You know how fast I go through my data caps with gigabit speed?
Oh yeah, but he has no caps. Like, I want that package. I would do 2 years because my unlimited is going to be $110 a month if I go on.
Yeah.
I used over a terabyte this month. My cap is 600. I don't know how I did. I downloaded a bunch of games. Maybe that had something to do with it.
That's insane. A terabyte?
A terabyte.
Yeah.
I think they're lying. Like they actually sent me a warning. They're like, look, okay, you get one more strike. And then we're going to start enforcing this. I'm like, oh, that sucks. But, you know, I'm cool with it, actually. Like, if I go excessively, it'll be $30 more that month. If I don't, then it'll be a reduced month. So whatever. I'm not in a contract. That's important to me.
Word. Well, Kevin says, anyways, move to Canada, I'll hook you up. Keep up the great work. Boosh.
Hey, if you make me poutine and get me gigabyte internet speed, I might consider Canada. Hey, some of the best times I've ever had were in Canada. It was only it felt like technically, because it was still Lake Erie, and it was like the one island that was Canadian, the rest were American. But it was amazing. Definitely a good time. I ever tell you that story? Like we had to go through customs at like the Sandusky, Ohio airport, which is like a single jet, like 4 people fit in a plane is the airport kind of airport. and it's like a 10 or 15 minute flight to the island. It
Man,
feels very Jaws 4 with like Michael Caine's like plane.
you're the only one who gets that.
I love that movie. So, anyways, they bring out like all of our luggage when we came back one time, and they brought out like these dog if we earn our luggage to see if we brought back weed,
Huh.
and the dog didn't find anything, and so we go on, and then they had a training dog there, so they planted weed in the thing, and the training
Uh-huh.
dog couldn't find it. So my buddy and I looked at each other and we're like, oh man, if only we knew. It's like Biff going back in time with the sports almanac. It's like, I know this one time we'll get away with it. But that was funny. Canada, I really do actually like it quite a bit, as much as I tease it. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for writing in, man. And I did send Kevin an email. Rick and Morty. I don't know if he'll get it as much because he's Canadian, and I don't know how their legal systems work. But if, side note, Rick and Morty, if you're a fan of that show, go to Adult Swim's channel right now and look for the state of Georgia versus like Denver something Allen. And it's one of the funniest videos I've seen in a long time. They read actual... It's just amazing. It's real what they are talking about. So anyways, yeah, let's get to Dumez and then call it a show, and Zara's comment too. We also had a new commenter on YouTube. Genesee Lane just said good podcast. So thanks. Appreciate that.
Many thanks.
Hopefully you'll enjoy this one too. Dumbass says that he ran network cables in a school district that he worked at, and it was even worse than I had imagined. As long as he also had to make the cables. That sucks. Crimping and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I overpaid for that outlet that just let me plug, like, it had 2 female ports, so I could run just a regular off-the-shelf Ethernet cord across my house and just plug it in the outlet. Like, I didn't need crimpers or any of that stuff. It just worked. And so he said that was a pain in the ass, and he had a 500-foot spool, and he had to put all the ends of it on and line up those 8 little wires, each of them, crimp them, etc. And he hates making cables. He says, while it is fun for multiplayer, the Ninja Turtles game in time is for sure the bottom of the list. Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, the arcade game. Retro League.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Turtles at the bottom of the list. He also says the best pinball that he's played is Fire, Phantom of the Opera, which was huge in the 90s, Simpsons, Star Trek, The Next Generation, Pinbot. I didn't even know that was a real pinball game. I thought it was only an NES game until I became an adult. Pinbot.
Huh.
Whirlwind and Police Chase. I just remember Pinbot because they had like a naked robot lady in it in the NES game. I'm like, oh my god. It's like naked robot boobs.
Yeah.
The video he sent me last week from Larry Bunder Jr., the reason he sent it was at the 9-minute mark. He goes into a great deal about the Dreamcast copy protection being cracked. There we go. So, yeah, go back to last week's episode and look at the video I linked from Demez. It's good stuff. And he says, after my review of Odorless, he ran over to Steam to buy it, and Steam told him he already had it. He got it in an indie bundle sometimes, it seems. Awesome bargain.
Sweet.
So, definitely very cool. And then, yeah, we got something from Zarek as well.
And he says, did this episode get third-party content claim? There was a 15-second ad in front of this one for me. Is this good news to report, maybe?
Wait a minute. What did we start the episode off with? Was he just... I might have taken this too literally because I commented back to him thinking like a pre-roll ad ran.
Mm-hmm.
What did we start talking about last episode with? Like, did we advertise something?
I don't
And
remember.
that's what he's referencing? Look, we got a
Probably is.
sponsorship? Shit. Zarek probably made a really good joke and it went over my head is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. This video is brought to you by blah.
By Stranger Things?
I don't know.
Oh, but then
We'll
he
have to go
goes
back
on.
and watch it.
But then maybe his next comment now answers my question.
Okay, I stopped the podcast and watched the Stranger Things series. I also feel like there's a chance that they make each season its own story. I went in blind and really enjoyed it.
Great.
Wow, 1991 was an amazing year. Link to the Past is my top pick on that list. It's one of my favorite games. I think Battletoads was 1991 as well. I looked it up. There were even more games. Metroid 2, Civilization, Super Mario World, North American version. Excuse me. F-Zero, North American version. And Tecmo Super Bowl.
Whoa, Tecmo Super Bowl.
I don't remember you saying any of those games, but they're all very notable. Yeah, I think I just did like a cursory Google search and read like the first few things I saw. My research wasn't super extensive. The SNES released on 90. Wait, yeah, the SNES released on 91 in North America. That must be why there were so many amazing games. So much boosh that was almost a Bubba Boosh moment. Which also that reminds me of Killer Instinct. Whenever you do a combo breaker, and it was like combo breaker.
Yeah. I played some Killer Instinct. I got my butt whooped.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did good at first though. I was what the hell was it? There, I played a Cypher as one. What was that awesome chick's name? She had a shield and a sword. Damn it. I don't
Maya?
know. Maybe. I don't know. I did good with her.
Angelou?
You might. Angelo.
Oh crap. That's great. I forgot where we were. Bubba Boosh, that's right. I went mostly from memory, so I didn't have a lot to say. I'll add at least one more thing. I've been playing Bloodstained again. I'm looking for hidden stuff and doing little challenges. The last thing I just did was beat the whole demo without using one healing item and without equipping any weapons or armor. I think I'll try to beat it without being hit once next.
Oh yeah, that's
Man,
psychotic, but good on you. He started a game. He started a playthrough, and I hope you're feeling better, dude. He started a playthrough of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. Like I really thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I really loved watching Day 9 play through that game. And it's not long, so it's enjoyable. So watching a friend play through it, I think will be cool because I just really loved that game. So much like I really enjoyed watching him play through Ori, I think I'll have that as well with this. It's just so unique. It's just there's so many little moments that I almost want to experience again vicariously through somebody else because it was like powerful for me with some of those games. So awesome. Well, Dustin, anything else that you'd like to add this week? I think we're out of stuff.
I watched Trick or Treat, the movie. It's like the Michael Dougherty anthology movie about Halloween. And on the Blu-ray, there's a like a little documentary on Halloween.
Like about the movies or the holiday?
The holiday itself.
Okay.
And I'm ready.
I am too. I really like Halloween.
I'm ready.
I love, like, the older I'm getting, it's a toss-up between the 4th of July and Halloween for me.
Mm-hmm.
With then Christmas and Thanksgiving being kind of my second-tier ones. With Christmas getting the edge, because when you give someone a good gift and you, like, nail it, that feels so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what I get now, but man, when I get that, like, aha moment for somebody, like, how'd you find this? I'm like, yeah, I nailed it. So yeah, that's my holidays. I'm with you, man. I'm excited about Halloween.
I usually just ask for gift cards for Christmas nowadays.
Yeah, I try to make it like nice and easy for people, or like if they want to physically get me something, here's a wish list, or
Yeah, because I'm nearly impossible to shop for like normal people.
I feel that way too. And my problem is I impulse buy. I
Same.
don't have any. The only my bank account is what's holding me back from like just the fact I'm decent with money is the only thing that's keeping me responsible. Like I don't have a voice of reason.
Right? Yeah. Your
Like
voice reason's just like, yeah, that's a good price, man.
not really, or man, I haven't seen these in forever.
Yeah.
I started watching V for Vendetta because I got that triple pack
Mhm.
V for Vendetta, Constantine, and Watchmen. I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
And what's weird is my favorite name. Like if I were to ever have a daughter, I would want to like screw up her name like my parents did with me, because Scott's actually my middle name. So I would want to call her Evelyn. I think that's a pretty name, but it's kind of like old. Like no one says Evelyn,
Mhm.
but Evie for short. Like I've always loved the name Evie, and that's the name of Natalie Portman in this movie. And I didn't remember that at all. I only saw this movie once in the theater, and so the fact that she's got the name Evie, I was like more interested in that character just because I like that name. Isn't
Yeah.
that also a Final Fantasy character? So I think someone told me that too.
Evie?
Yeah,
Vivi.
VV. Maybe that's what they were saying. Maybe, and I could have been drunk when I was telling them that. So
Her
Evie might have
brother.
had a V in front of it.
Evie and Vivi.
Sounds like cats. You know what I
It's
mean?
like
Like,
it sounds like the like an indie studio's take on Pocky and Rocky.
yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, but V for Vendetta was fun, and I know more
Mhm.
about Guy Fawkes and all that kind of stuff now than I did then. So I got a lot more out of it watching it this time.
Mhm.
It's not perfect, but it's a fun movie.
I
And
like that. I just like the parts where he blows stuff up to classical music.
yes, that is wonderful. I mean, they start with that, like
Mhm.
that's cool. Uh, yeah. So there's more movie crap we could talk about. We'll wrap it up, make it nice and tidy for everybody. It's been a shorter episode, which I'm sure people don't mind that much. This week, man, I've had a hard time. Eevee is a Pokemon. Oh, not spelled that way. Zerk saying Eevee's a Pokemon. I don't
Huh.
give a shit. I still like that name. But now she'll automatically be picked on if I would have a daughter.
That's going to be the name of my 90s tribute band. Eevee's a Pokemon.
Eevee's a Pokemon. There you go. That is a good one. So yeah, this week for I guess before we get to music stuff, if you'd like to email us, you can do that at classicleet@gmail.com. If you have any comments that you'd also like read on the podcast outside of an email, you can leave comments under any of the episodes that we're watching. If you have any complaints or corrections or things to add, go for it. That's fun. And we're also on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Go to youtube.com/classicleet to subscribe. We make videos and podcasts there. If you like the audio podcasts, get it from Google Play, iTunes, our website, classicleet.com, Stitcher. And are you smiling so much because the episode's done?
I thought of a dumb joke. I was thinking Jake needs to come around more often, or we're going to change his name to Jake Yearly.
No, there you go. Oh, well, I think, no, it's been March. So what does that be, quarterly at
Yeah,
this point? We'll step him down. And when
right.
it's yearly, he's cut off. Yeah, but seriously, Jake, thanks for stopping by, dude.
Yeah, man.
And thanks to Zarek for stopping by. And then, yeah, so all that stuff. If you Google us, you'll find us. And yeah, but audio, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play are the best spots for that. And then outro music. I picked another song from Chiptunes Equal Win Volume 5. I love this girl. She is so good. Her name is Chip Zell. I think I've talked about her on the podcast before because she's awesome. But did you ever play that game Super Hexagon or whatever from Terry Kavanaugh?
I don't think
It
so.
was like a phone touch game.
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, anyway, she did the song for that. The song was amazing. Or the songs for that. But she's had a lot of songs I do like. Well, her one on this album is called Hope, and then in parentheses, Alpha. I would relate it it's dancey but kind of chill, sort of like maybe like Dead Mouse or something like that.
Okay.
And it's really catchy. Just the way the melody I think is super catchy, and the way she kind of layers it is really smart, and I think it's great. So hopefully people will enjoy Chip Zell's song Hope, and we will see you next week for episode. Oh, Zarek, by the way, thank you again for saving the show. And we'll see you
Yeah,
next
dude.
week for episode 194.
This boosh is for you. Boosh.